Hi, I'm Hollie Faust, and I am here with Terri Wilson, and we are talking about trends in dentistry and about staffing. And I just wanted to bring in the expert who kind of has her finger on the pulse of everything. So, Terri, you tell me a little bit about you first. Give us a little backstory, and then let's talk about some trends in dentistry, especially like staffing and stuff. Is that cool?
That's great. Let's definitely do it. Well, I've been in dentistry for about
Ages.
ages, about 37 years, not to put a date on me.
That's all right.
Fell into it accidentally and absolutely love dentistry. It's been great. But one of the things that I have seen over the years, because I started off on the clinical side.
Yes.
And I worked my way up doing office management and, other things like that. And then I actually worked for the insurance companies. So I used to be the professional relations rep for Delta Dental of Tennessee, as well as our TennCare, DentaQuest. I'll get out here in a minute. And so I've seen both sides, both the dental insurance side as well as what the dental practices are having to deal with.
Yeah, from the clinic to the front to the
All
third
of it.
party.
Right.
Absolutely.
And back in the day, you used to have the front against the back or the back against the front. And what it takes everybody at this point to make a practice run, period. And what a lot of people don't realize, and I'm going to get into the staffing here in just a minute, but what a lot of people don't realize is that ADA CDT code book was made for clinical procedures, not for billing or at all. People don't understand that. And so it amazes me when I go into these dental practices and they are always saying it's up to the front about the billing and coding.
Absolutely.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
The front doesn't know what the descriptions really mean.
That's right.
They do what the clinic submits to them. So,
right.
Oh yeah, we know it. And that puts us in a lot of trouble.
Well, here's the big thing is they do not need to let dental insurance dictate the patient's health.
Sure.
And I've never seen such a problem with that as I do right now, and especially after COVID. When COVID hit, people don't realize how much this affects the entire body. And anybody, that has heard me speak, they hear me discussing how much it affects the entire body.
Absolutely.
And so anyway, one of the biggest challenges that I'm seeing right now in dentistry, because I'm obviously right here in good old Nashville, Tennessee, and so there's a lot of political things happening.
Yes.
But the big thing that I do see happening is the extreme shortages of team members, period. So the government has proposed right now, they've got bills out to where they are trying to encourage people to either do dental assisting programs or dental hygiene programs. Now, you've got the great divide going on because you've already got several programs out there.
Yes.
But it was the expense of a lot of these programs that's preventing people to come. So now what's happening is the government's trying to come across with government grants to help do this. And they're encouraging people to even look at more of a trade type thing. In other words, some of these dental assisting courses to where it's less time, less money, but to get in, get the skill set.
Vocation.
That's right, vocational. So they're pushing this more, which I think is great because, again, but one of the things like with front office training, I tell everybody this, I said, you know what, the one thing I can't train is personalities.
Right.
I can train dentistry all day long, but I cannot train your personality. And so if someone has a bad personality, I don't care how much skill set you got, it's not going to be what I need.
Right.
So I'm seeing that kind of going on.
Yeah.
So,
so we're also seeing, let's talk shortages a little bit more. So, administration doesn't have a certification. So you're letting someone walk off the street, get trained on the job, and they're controlling your money. They're controlling the legalities of processing insurance and managing insurance. They're controlling your schedule, filling holes. And if they don't really know the value of that, how will they help you make money?
Right.
And how will they care for your patients if you're not showing them? So that is a huge issue. So there's starting to become a lot more online programs and things for training.
Right.
And then we know, with dental assistants and hygienists, there are super shortages.
Yes.
So there's a whole lot more training assistants on the job, by fire, trial by fire, things like that. And that becomes with a lot of risk because of patient care, procedural. Hey, what if I didn't mix that bonding agent just right?
That's right.
And what if I hand you the crown, but I hand it to you the wrong way?
That's right.
So that costs a lot of clinical time, a lot of money, and a lot of frustration. So dentists are reeling because they want to be in business. I'm seeing on my side a lot more jumping out of the insurance game.
Yes.
One plan at a time.
Right.
Really crazy stuff. And then I'm seeing the doctors who just want to squeeze more, hammer more,
right,
do more. So they think, accelerated hygiene, accelerated
Right.
procedures, accelerate will
Right.
help them to maintain status quo and pay the bills. What are you seeing? Is
Well,
that right
I
or wrong?
am definitely seeing that, but here you've
Yeah.
got what's going on. You've got a lot of people that are dropping out of this industry because they're burned out, period.
Burned out,
Everybody's
absolutely.
exhausted. And so even with the insurance thing, okay, I tell everyone it's like a 401k type of thing. You know, you got a mix of a little bit of everything. You got your cash paying patients, you've got your insurance paying patients. The economy drives a lot of that, and your location drives a lot of those decisions, and it all
Absolutely.
depends. I'm all about an internal dental wellness plan myself, you know, encouraging people if they don't have any type of dental insurance or whatever the case is, give them an option. Because what's happening is these dentists are writing off up to 50% on a lot of the
Yeah.
PPOs, and if you're in Medicaid, you're doing about 80% write off, you know,
So
type
you
thing.
could have membership plans to help with those types of things,
Right.
but
Yep.
you have to have the team.
You got to have the team, and you got to train them. And I just finished doing a speaking engagement talking about those very things. It's about policies and procedures. And it's not just
Absolutely.
about rules, it's about actually it meaning something,
Yeah.
meaning show me what you're expecting from me. Don't just sit here and say, well, here's your job.
How-tos.
You know,
How to do
I
this,
need to
how
know
to
how
do
to do
this.
this. That's right. And if I have to fill in for someone that sits in that chair or that chair, I need a breakdown of
Yeah,
what is expected for
absolutely.
that position and stuff like that. So it's everything is changing, but again, with the shortages of staff, what has been, I guess, been proposed the most right now is they were talking about reciprocity. So they're trying to open up the borders. Yeah, and when I say open up the borders between the states and being able to transfer a license, and like in my class just a few minutes ago, we were discussing, there was somebody from California there was somebody from Kentucky there.
Absolutely.
Everybody has completely different rules and regs and what they acknowledge or don't acknowledge or whatever the case is.
Yep.
And then everybody has this misconception that in the state of Tennessee, that if you have a CDA, you're legal. No, you're not. You have to be a registered dental assistant in this state. Now, I could be a CDA and go ahead and get my RDA, but I don't have to go through all the additional school. But people don't understand it's very confusing. And because of the staff shortages, the government is proposing different rules and regulations now to kind of open it up so people have opportunities to go somewhere. And that Federal Trade Commission, you know, when they dropped the no competes,
Yes.
that's went into a play. So this is going to be interesting.
I think it's going to be exciting because, you know, I've lived in North Carolina, and then I've lived in Tennessee, and I've lived in Savannah, Georgia, and licensure, moving from place to place, that is a set of handcuffs in itself.
Absolutely.
And not everybody has the right answers.
That's right.
Not everybody has all the resources. So this could be really big for dentistry and help solve some of our staffing problems. But right now, staffing is huge, and I think that comes back to good culture, good opportunities, good SOP manuals.
Absolutely.
You know, benefits are great.
Right.
Pay is great.
That's right.
But you could get paid the top dollar in Nashville and walk into a bottom dollar practice, right?
Absolutely. And again, it takes the entire team. And having clear, defined, expectations is huge. But also, ignorance is not bliss. I always tell everybody this, well, if I don't know about it, I don't have to deal with it. Yes, you do. And just because if you're clinical, you do need to understand about the insurance and or not just insurance, I'm talking about appropriate clinical documentation on things and how to document and when to document things and what to say and not say. I mean, again, I tell everybody if you're documenting, you stick to the facts. You don't get emotional about it. Don't put any your personal feelings in it. You stick to the facts. But at the same time, there's so much technology these days that is really opening up a lot of doors, and that really helps patients to accept treatment. And I see so many offices not utilizing like intraoral cameras. That's the best thing since baked bread to me, because I know,
So, Terri, we could talk all day. You know that. We could sit here forever. So if somebody needs some of your services in Nashville, somebody needs some help making SOPs, teaching their team about some insurance and credentialing, things like that, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, they can definitely reach me on my cell phone. Or probably,
give it to
can I
them.
do that? All right.
Absolutely.
So you can reach me at 615-613-3311. Again, it's 615-613-3311. Or you can contact me through my website or our website. There's, me and my husband are trying to take care of different things, and that's dentalbizbootcamp.com. And what we're planning on doing, and here again, and this is why I even partner up with people like you, because there's not enough training out there. I'm talking about hands-on training, and it's so important. And I'm nationwide, and just like you are. I mean, there's no border stopping me from doing anything. But since I'm in the Nashville area, we are talking about trying to do some other programs, especially for front office training. Like I said, I can train dentistry all day long, but I cannot train personality. So, anybody that's even thinking about getting out of the field that they're in and wanting to pursue dentistry, you got two ladies right here that can handle
That's right.
I'm telling you.
Reach out to Terri if you need some local help. We got you.
Yep. Thank you.
How good was that?